on how to read the market. It's a pretty broad question you have there on how to read the market, but we can definitely go through some analysis. A strategy on how to decide whether it's a very broad thing that you've asked me to do here too, True. Is there any specific analysis that you are inclined to? Support and resistance, trend lines, harmonics, Elliott wave, so on and so forth. If you can give me, a little bit of direction, I can elaborate a little bit better. We can definitely start with a little bit of a top-down analysis. I can show you guys how I plot everything. Okay, throw me a couple pairs, guys. Throw me about 2 or 3 pairs, and I'll give you guys a quick analysis. Show you guys how I break it down and how I determine whether I'm going to be in a bullish bias or a bearish bias. When setting a trend, how much time prior period do we need to consider? It really depends on what time frame and what kind of trader you are. So I can look at gold. I'm not the best gold trader. That's the wrong one. I don't really trade gold, but I can definitely do an analysis on it just to show you guys what I do. So me personally, I'm a bit of a intraday trader. Okay. So typically I'll get my entry on the 15-minute or the 30. The hour to the 30-minute chart are where I do the majority of my analysis, but I keep the higher time frames, okay, in high regards. Okay, so typically what I like to do is I like to start on the daily. Okay, we can see that overall we are in a bearish daily trend. Okay. The last little while the market's been making lower highs and lower lows. Okay, now for those of you guys who are asking about how far back when you're drawing the trend, as far back as it's still relevant. Okay, so we can see right now this trend. Okay, there's actually 2 different ways that we could draw this. This may be the better trend. No, that one's ugly. I was just seeing if this is actually connected. Okay, so overall we are in a bearish trend here. Okay, and then this is where I'm going to plot my major support and resistance levels. So you guys can see that right here we had some support. Right here we had some resistance. Okay, support. Market broke this, and now it's testing it as resistance. Okay, and I'll go down to the 4-hour, see if there's anything else that catches my eye on the 4-hour. Okay, overall, right now the 1-hour is bearish. Okay, on the daily, the daily is bearish. It looks like we're making a little bit of a double top right here. Okay, so the market's rejecting the support, now turn resistance level here. Okay, the 4-hour candles right now are bearish. Okay, so on the daily and the 4-hour we are bearish. The 1-hour, this is where I'll come in. I'll start to look for some more relevant. Okay, support and resistance levels. So right here we can see we had some resistance. The market broke it here, right? Broke under, retested it. Now is resistance again. A little bit of a rejection. Broke above. We had support, right? Rejected. Now the market may be breaking this level of support once again. So again, I'm not a Tokyo trader, guys. I'm just showing you some analysis here, how I go through my analysis. It also looks like we do have a little bit of a downtrend here as well. Now, me personally, I draw my trend lines on the bodies. Okay, I draw it from body to body. Some people draw it wick to wick. I personally like the candle close a little bit better than the wick. Okay, but again, that can come down to personal preference and your own trading style. Try the different ways out. See which ones work better for you if you do like trend lines. So overall to me here, guys, this definitely looks like a sell. Okay, again, we're in Tokyo, so I would not trade this personally. But let's say we were looking for a Tokyo session trade. What I would look for is for the market to actually break this a little bit more, close down past it, and then come back up and retest this. What was once support, retest this now as resistance, and look for a bearish close to get the sell off of this. Okay, so overall, from the top-down analysis all the way from the daily, okay, we're looking bearish here. Again, the market broke this major level, and it's retesting it and bouncing off of it. Okay, the 4 hour, we're looking, again, bearish. You guys look, this 1 hour level is actually a 4 hour level as well. Okay, we had some support here, okay, resistance here. And now we're breaking it again. We did have some support right here, and we're currently breaking it. So this is a really strong level. Not only is this a 1 hour level, but this is also a 4 hour level. Okay, really strong, really nice level. Again, I would look for, and right now you guys can see why we wait for the actual close. Okay, so we wait for the close of this candle for it to close down past, and then retest here, and then wait for that bearish candle. Okay, we don't want to trade it if it's still bullish. Okay, because this pullback may not be done. Because this could do what I've drawn here, or maybe it'll come back up and retest this trend line one more time, okay, before it goes down. Or, for all we know, because anything can happen in the markets, right, this could just turn around and go bullish from this point. So this is why it's really important to wait for the candle close and to see what information the market's actually giving us. And literally this could just tank as well. Right, so you guys can see there's many, many different outcomes that could play out here. Okay, this is just 4 possible outcomes I've drawn. Of course, there are many, many more. But the outcome I would personally like the best would be 1 or 2 of these. This one here being the better option, because then we are actually breaking that 4 hour support. Let me just see if we have any questions. Pips I'm seeing to apparently set stop loss to low as end up coming out too early. I'm not sure what you're saying here. More so how the zones come into play. If it appears bearish in all hours, 1, 4, and daily, is it more powerful or better? Yeah, absolutely. It's called confluence, right? I keep going on this one. If the daily's saying bearish and the 4 hour saying bearish and the 1 hour saying bearish, but the 15-minute is saying bullish, you'd be crazy to try to fight against that momentum. You're counter trend trading, right? You're going to trade against the wave. And I mean, you might catch some scalp pips, or maybe you will just happen to catch a reversal. But a lot of the time, when you have that momentum on all the higher time frames, but it's opposite on the lower time frame, a lot of the time you're just in a little bit of a pullback. Does that make sense? Not so much a process of elimination, but more the opposite. It's a process of confluence, right? We're looking for all the different... I keep switching to this one. This is my other demo. This is the one I use for my strategy tester. But we're looking for confluence, right? We're looking for multiple different analyses, that's a hard one to say, all saying the same thing. Okay, that's why, like right here, again, this is Tokyo, but right now, I mean, we're pulling up. Okay, the daily is bearish, right? This is a brand new day. I mean, the day is only about 4 hours. Okay, the daily is bearish, the 4 hours bearish, the 1 hour's bearish, 30 minutes bearish, 15 minutes bearish, right? The 5 minutes looking like we might pull back. Okay, but again, this could totally be a wick fill. This could just be a little bit of a slowing, and then it's a wick fill. So that's why it's really important to wait for that 15-minute candle to close. Because if it closes above this, it's not quite ready for a sell, then it might go to option B. Maybe it'll bounce off of this, gather a little bit more strength. Because one thing to remember, guys, the markets is a lot like a bow and arrow, right? Where it's got to draw back before it can shoot forward. So sometimes if it doesn't have enough strength, right, it's got to pull back one more time before it shoots forward. So overall, again, this is what I would look for if I were trading the Tokyo session and I liked gold. This is personally what I'd look for. But again, this isn't a signal. This isn't a trading idea. This is purely for educational purposes. Okay, I'm just showing you guys how I analyze the market. So, does anybody have another pair they want to go over? And I'll leave this. We'll see how it plays out. Right, just for the fun of it. We're getting close to that candle close, so. And I do know some traders that are very aggressive that would actually sell. If this closes past this level, they'll sell. Me personally, I like to wait for the retest. It's a little bit stronger of a confirmation. Okay, and this should close. Oh, we're on the 30 minutes. So boom, right there, we got the 15-minute close.
Sound reinforcement. So maybe the title of this video could be, what is sound reinforcement? This came up this past week, and I was trying to explain what...
Okay, I would like to see one more bearish candle form to actually break this a little bit better. But if we get a nice little wick here, maybe two nice little wicks, it could be a nice sell as well. NJ. G Farung. I'm going to wait and see if somebody else has a pair first. If nobody else puts up a pair, then I'll get you, Greg. Hey, Beelan, how you doing, man? Good to see you. We're doing a little bit of chart analysis right now. You guys hear weird noises? My chair's getting old. It's kind of creaky. I'm not blowing wind. It's just the chair. Give it a minute here. Nobody else has a pair they want me to go over. I'll go over NJ here. I mean, it really doesn't matter what we go over. It's all the same. But if you guys already have an analysis, that's good too. How many of you guys are good with TradingView? EU. Okay, yeah, let's go over EU. We'll come back to this. I'm just going to close the ones we're not going over right now. Okay, so EU, again, right now we are bullish, but overall the trend seems to be bearish. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, so we got a bit of a major level right here. See, the 4 hour starting to tell a bit of a different story. Okay, but we are going bullish again. Looks like we had a little bit of a pullback. Okay, looks like there's a little bit of a 4 hour zone here. Okay, we can see we had some support here. The market's kind of struggling here. Some shit about this. Yeah, I made this one thicker so we remember this is the daily. Okay, and then this is our 4 hour. Looks like we're starting to go bullish again. Okay, I'd like to see one of two things happen. Struggling a little bit at this level here. Okay, overall in the 4 hour, if we start to go bearish, it might do something like this in the long term if this does go bearish. But overall, what I would like to see, I'd like to see it do something like this. Okay, break up and past, and then retest. We can see that we had a fake out. Okay, didn't quite stay up, right? Try to break it again, couldn't quite stay out. Third time, maybe the charm, right, where we break out. Okay, breakout, retest. Maybe some type of a wick rejection here with a strong bullish candle. Now, this right here, guys, this is pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, but you can see here, it doesn't always work. Okay, it doesn't always work. The 15-minute might tell us a bit of a different story, but no. Unfortunately, this was just literally a fake out. As beautiful as this looks right here, right, the market broke out, trying to test. There was more failure towards the upside than there was to the downside. Okay, then it went bullish. I probably would have gotten faked out on this one, to be honest with you guys, if I was trading it. I don't trade EU. Okay, and then it dropped, pulled back down one more time, came up. But even right here, this is really nice too. So this one didn't work, but we can see here that this one totally would have. Where we bounced back down. This is the full retest of that 4-hour zone, right?
What?
Or sorry, the daily level right here, right? Where we broke the daily, and then this was the retest of that daily. So we go down to the lower time frame. Okay, this would have been really, really nice on the 15-minute. Okay, so right here we have 1, 2, 3 major wick rejections, a nice strong bullish candle. Okay, basically 1, 2, 3 engulfing the last 3 candles. This right here would have been a really nice entry point off this candle here. Okay, you would have had your stop set just a few pips below here, and you could have taken this, anywhere up to this point. So right here, okay, this is where this first candle closed. I would have set my stop or my take profit, within a few pips of this high right here. Okay, because this is why, for those of you guys who've been on my sessions before, okay, if we would have taken this trade, this right here, we know that the market played as a little bit of resistance here. Therefore, we'd set our, come here, you little bugger, we'd set our take profit somewhere in this area. Because if the market does exactly what it did here, right, it came up. If we put it past here, okay, or even if we used this candle close instead, right, and we put our target, our take profit, come here, right at this level, right, it would have just missed it. So if we set our take profit just a few pips away from this zone here, okay, we have a higher chance of getting it. So even just kind of eyeballing these right here, let's see what kind of ratio we would have had. We would have had about a 9 pip stop loss and about a 21 pip take profit. So about a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward. So it would have been a really nice trade. Okay, and even if we didn't, let's say we did move our take profit here, as soon as you guys see this right here, okay, as soon as you guys see that long wick where it's a little bit of a loss of momentum, and then we get this strong bearish body here, you close out right there, okay? Because the market, it looks like the market's really slowing down, it's starting to exhaust, we might get what we just got here, a pullback before it continues. So even if you didn't hit that TP and you closed out manually, right, you still would have caught just about 16 pips, about 15 pips, just about a 2 to 1 ratio here. I avoid news like the plague, right? So what I'll do, Beelan, I'll check this out right afterwards. Just learning about to use it properly, right on. What I'll do is I go to a news website, okay? I just muted it. And I trade New York. So I'll come in here and make sure it's 6 a.m. my time, right? So this morning we had CAD GDP. So as much as there was a couple pairs that I wanted to trade that had the CAD, I did not trade it during this time, right? It was at 6:30 my time. So I didn't trade the CAD. I mean, I didn't trade it, period, because GDP was a little bit crazy today. I avoided the CAD pairs at that time. Typically, within about half an hour after the news event, as long as it wasn't a big news event, you're clear to trade that pair again. But if there is a big news event, typically you're going to want to wait till it kind of corrects itself, give it a little bit of time, maybe an hour, and then you'll be clear to trade that pair. So for example, I wouldn't have traded the US dollar at 8 a.m. and I would not have traded the CAD at 9. If I was in a trade coming up to news, I would look for a nice clean exit, or at least move my stop loss to break even if I'm in profit. Okay, does that make sense?
So you'll see like a little 1 gang or 2 gang wall plate that is, just a typical receptacle height about 18 inches above the finished floor, and maybe there'll be a whole slew of these. You might have 24 tie lines in one area.
Ooh, we got a lot going on here.
But basically, it is a physical input that is installed.
And a body. So one thing here, you do have just one small correction. You went from a body to a wick here. I would almost even go body to body with this. Right, and we can see that would actually make it a little bit tighter, and this is definitely starting to compress. I would definitely be looking, for the buy as well. Beelan, would I be looking? Oh, this is gold. What was our analysis on gold? Wow, look at that. Totally different. See, this can break both ways. If this breaks down, it's going to be a nice sell. If it breaks up, it might be a nice buy. This is a little bit of an uptrend right here. We got some major wick rejection. Looks like it's starting to drop. Where are we at? Wrong one. Where's our close? Yeah, your chart totally confused me there, Beelan. What is this zone here? Yeah, because this zone right where it's at too, if it breaks that trend line, that would be absolutely nasty. Keep going to this one. Where did you draw that? What time term is that on? You guys see what I just did there? Just because he had this drawn up a little bit differently, you guys see how I switched my bias set first? Because I'm looking at what he's looking at through his eyes. And this is a really scary thing to do as a trader, because if you guys are flipping bias, okay, you're going to get caught in that storm of buy, sell, and next thing you know, you've lost 20% of your account. Okay, this short-term trend up versus the long-term trend down. Okay, we have a lot of rejection here. This is on the 4 hour. Let me just go back to this. So basically, Beelan, you're looking at the buy. Let me just make sure. Try to get into your perspective here. You're looking for the buy based upon this trend line here. Is that what you're looking at? I'm going to sell up off the trend line.
I'll be taking through written procedures for your audio, text, and video text. And I'm going to be concentrating on what are the types of things I want to put into a written procedure that everybody needs to do every week, and then at what point does it just get
for the initial push up. So you're trying to catch this right here.
I'm going to be writing a little book, and what I'm thinking of is like one sheet of paper, 1 page PDF for the audio text, just a little kind of a checklist thing.
You got a lot on your chart here. This is super, super messy. Is this fib? Is this a fib level you have here as well? This is my day job rubbing off on my volunteer experience, where in the medical world, where we have document control and work instructions, everything has to be very specific. So you're looking for it to push up to this overall trend and then sell off of it, I see. And that's what we're talking about. How do you manage the quality? Yeah, it's fib. Sorry guys, I'm just learning how to use TradingView myself.
Oh, God.
So push up to here and then sell off. And your stop. Why did you put your stop here at this level? This stop looks like it's a little bit too much for me. Because if the market's come this far past this trend line, okay, I'm just going to try to look at this from your perspective, right? If the market's come this far, right, I don't know how many pips that is. 108 pips it looks like. If the market's come that many pips, there's a good chance it's going to continue going up. I would be more apt to have my stop kind of somewhere in this area here, right? Because then you're less likely the wick shouldn't hit it, and then if the market does enter this area, you know that it's a buy, not a sell. We got a little bit of a flag pattern coming here, right? Okay.
And we'll be talking about what to include. So I think the first thing. Oh gee, I might need some.
Yeah, the green is a sell and the red is a stop loss.
I can rock the lady sunglasses, not a problem. Okay, so.
I mean, like I said, is that anything is possible in the markets. We're dropping like crazy right now. My initial bias, I'm still standing by. But, I mean, like I said, anything could happen. This could come down to this trend line again and bounce off of it and come back up and test that overall trend line off the top, right? Where are we at? Which is super, super far away. It's super long term. It's like 200 pips away. But again, if you were looking for it to come that far, so let's look at this from a different perspective, another key area that you could start to look for a buy would be right off this level again, right? Because if the market breaks it, there's a chance that it'll continue going up based upon this shorter term trend here, where the market's making higher highs and higher lows. And now gold is crazy too, guys, right? You can see where on the 4 hour, gold just moves, right? It's 180 pips right here. Right here, no sign of slowing, almost 400 pips. So this is one of the reasons why I don't really trade gold. It's a little too... I have a little too hard of a time trying to predict it. Okay, so and as beginners, you guys shouldn't really be trading gold. But to each their own. I mean, if it resonates with you, trade it. Anybody have another pair? Did we finish EU? Yeah.
Maybe that's actually step one, is coordinate with worship leader about midweek rehearsal. Because if it doesn't get on your schedule, it's not going to happen regardless. So coordinate with whoever about when they can show up, usually Wednesday or Thursday night. And Wednesday or Thursday night, show up and make all the patches. So like step two, step one would be coordinate a midweek rehearsal. Because everything goes so much smoother when you've got all the legwork done on Wednesday night.
EU here, one thing to keep an eye on is it is starting to make lower highs. So if it fails to break this time, there's a possibility it might come back down to test this level. Right? Basically what I drew up here. On the higher time frame, right? It might pull back one more time, get a better correction before it shoots up. You guys are super quiet tonight.
You're thinking about the fellowship hall mix, the record mix, and in your monitor mix, which feeds the nursery. So setting rough levels for all 5 of those mixes would be the next thing to do during the midweek rehearsal. And then just let the band do their thing. They got to work through transitions. They got to work through arrangements. They got to work through all that musical stuff, timing, and who's gonna start one song and finish the other song. So I think that is like the first chunk. Is coordinate the midweek, show up to the midweek, and do X, Y, Z at the midweek rehearsal. And if you've got like physical media like CDs, that is a great time to start labeling some of the stuff and making sure your media.
Oh, we got a crazy leg right now. That's why.
It could be a huge stress reliever if you come in and you record like CDs and stuff. Also, it's on. It's super bright right there. I don't think I can do anything to fix that. No, not really. Put this one. No, not really. Right sign. Actually, we had a supermoon last night. It was very cool. I went out with my daughter Joni, and we set up the camera on the tripod and took pictures of the supermoon. So that was cool to see that come rising up over the tree line. And the place we were camped out was in Walpole, right off of Route 1. And we were the first ones there with a little camp chair set up and snacks and everything. We were sitting in our little chairs waiting for the moon to come up. And we knew it was going to come up at 4:13 p.m. at like roughly 75 degrees north-northeast. So I know the compass app, we were set up in the right direction and we were ready to roll. And it was really cool. But yeah, a little crowd gathered, made some friends. I met this guy Kevin. We used to work on TV broadcast towers. Like this guy used to climb up to the top of these towers and adjust the transmission device.
It's not too bad. About 20-second lag. Anybody have any more pairs? Everybody fall asleep. Did I put you guys to sleep?
But anyway, back to standard operating procedures for audio. So yeah, I think coordinating the midweek rehearsal, and maybe that's not the role of the audio person, but they don't need to like rally the troops and set the date or whatever. They just need to somehow talk to others.
AJ, UJ, and AU. These are really good ones. AJ is pretty good too. You must be a New York or Tokyo trader, Beelan. GU, we can definitely go over GU.
Ideally, you can recall a previous mix that you did, and most of the work is already done, so it's just a matter of recalling.
If I think you're from the States, aren't you, Beelan? So these are great pairs to trade pretty much all day. Not much for London, so those are definitely good pairs. 3 good pairs to go with. It's like a GU. So we're definitely strong bullish right now on the daily for GU.
And it was so bizarre because this guy's walking in front of my car, cop's waving, going like this to me. I'm like, I'm not gonna hit the dude. But I guess the cop wanted me to drive through first and he didn't go after. It was just sometimes they get confused.
Okay, kind of right at a key level again.
But I just stopped. I don't want to. I want to err on the side of caution.
Right.
Anyway.
4 hour.
I know. Somebody's doing this to you. And then somebody's walking in front of your car. Are you gonna like?
Looks like we're doing a little bit of a break and a retest right now on the 4 hour. Okay, bullish, 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 bullish again. Right here, this was really nice right here. Nice little double bottom. Okay, break and go. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a different situation. Let's say you guys did get a nice entry off the bottom here. Okay. And you guys are doing, your overall analysis off the 1 hour chart, right? We're just using the 1534 entry. If you guys are using the 1 hour chart, what you guys can see here is that the market's kind of at an interesting spot. So let's say that we did buy, somewhere down here. And we see that the market's kind of coming up to this next resistance level. Okay, there was a little bit of resistance at this level. So this is kind of a key area to watch because, of course, the market's going to do one of two things, right? It's either going to break it or it's going to bounce off of it. Okay, we also have, if you guys see here, we're in a little bit of a channel, right? Market broke up, bouncing kind of between this channel. So if you were in a buy and we started to notice, which it kind of is right now, right? The market's having trouble breaking this. So if you were in a buy, let's say you bought, for example, off this candle. Okay, this would be a good time to move your stop loss to break even. Okay, once you kind of start to get a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, I mean you could close with a little bit of profit, or simply you just move that stop loss to break even. Now this is now a risk-free trade. Okay, if the market goes up, great. If it comes down, whatever, right? No shirt off our back, right? Overall, this looks like it's going to keep pushing up. Definitely looks like it's going to keep pushing up. And this is also another area where, one, you could get an entry here. Okay, you could look for something kind of like this, right? Because we are at a little bit of a 1 hour resistance. Okay, or again, if you had taken this trade here, let's say you did move that stop loss to break even, if the market did this, okay, you could enter another order here, right? Get your stop loss somewhere down in here, and now you're running double the profits with half the risk. Because this trade, right, this one is now a risk-free trade, and this trade here is only at, let's say, 2%. So if you did a 2 to 1 here, or a 3 to 1 here, okay, you're looking to make 6% off this one, you're risking 2. Now you're risking nothing, because you're at break even. This trade you're risking 2. Let's say you did a 3 to 1 with it as well. You're now at, a 6 to 1, because you're going to be at 12%, right, reward. You could be making a potential 12%, and you're only risking about 2%. Okay, so it's a really powerful thing to do as well. And keep in mind, guys, like watch the way these candles close. Okay, like I said, we're seeing right here, perfect example, this 1 hour resistance. Okay, the 15-minute candles are having trouble breaking this. So there's a good chance that this might come down and play within this channel a little bit more. Okay, so like I said, if you were in a trade and you happen to notice something like this, either, pull your profits or at least move your stop loss to break even. Protect yourself a little bit. But I mean, toy with it. You guys need to be back testing. Okay, it's going to be the best way to practice. It's going to be the fastest way to get where you want to get with trading. So you're doing a split trading. That's going to be really tough on you because the market acts a lot different in New York than it does in Tokyo What days of the week are you trading New York, and what days of the week are you trading Tokyo? Oh, Texas, cool. I love Texas. I've only been there once, and I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to go back to Dallas in September. Well, not back to Dallas, but back to Texas for the convention. UCAD. Let's go over UCAD, too.
Hey guys, it's 84 here, and welcome to the 4th video in my live sound 101 video series. Thanks for continuing with the video track here, and I just want to thank everyone for commenting.
Okay, so again, start of the daily. Okay, we can see the daily right here. We hit. Sorry, I just got a message. We hit some resistance right here, right? A lot of rejection. The market started to drop. Okay, so overall right now we are bearish. We're in bearish momentum, right? Let's see what we got.
Analog audio signal types. And there's an important distinction.
There's a little bit of resistance in this area, or yeah, resistance in this area here. A little bit of support. There might be a bit of a level here.
We'll be focusing on analog signal types. And there are 3 common signal types that you run into.
It's kind of ugly. There's a lot of traffic in this area.
Microphone level is a very low level signal. Line level is a medium level signal. And speaker level is a high level signal.
Okay, overall 4 hour bearish, right? 1 hour bearish. We just broke this 1 hour support here. The market's dropping.
That's just a general ballpark of a nominal working level for microphones. It's about 10 millionth of a watt in microphone.
Overall, the market is still strongly bearish. We do have, if you look here, there is a little bit daily resistance right here. Put it on the 4 hour, see if we can tweak it a little bit. Come here. Just delete this. Okay, and the market did break it. So right now it looks like this is getting ready to free fall. Okay, we had a lot of resistance here. The market now testing it as support. Okay, but it broke right through. We have a lot of bearish momentum. Okay, this looks like it's just going to drop. Okay, and it could potentially drop all the way down to this level here, right? This is our next major daily area. There's a little bit of an area here. Okay, you guys can see we have a little bit of support, resistance, support. So it might come down and test this, but even still, that's still a little ways. Okay, so this is an area where we might look for some slowing, possible turnaround, pullback. Okay, but do you guys see how I'm looking for these strong areas where the market reacts? Okay, these are the areas that you want to keep your eye on. Okay, because if we look right here, right, the market had a little bit of trouble, came down, hit it, rejected, tried again, then it rejected to the upside. We went bearish right here. Okay, if we would have been trading off the 1 hour, oops. Okay, we might have even the 30-minute here, right? This is where the candles were closing. Now right here, we actually closed below. So this could have been a really aggressive trade. Again, this is not one I would have taken. I'd wait for that pullback. But you guys can see kind of how we use these support and resistance areas, and we wait for that bearish confirmation here. Work 6 days in a row and then take 7 off. So it changes every other week. Have you found, Beelan, if you're a better trader in New York or Tokyo? Which one do you tend to win more trades on?
Approaches to live sound to be successful and get a good mix and be able to direct people and get a good microphone test out of them. Sometimes the performers can be difficult to work with and to try to get a good sound check and challenge. So we'll talk about all that stuff later.
So right now it looks like we might be bouncing a little bit. This is where we might get that retest. So let me delete some of this. Okay, you guys see it? Oh, I deleted too many. We're looking for the market to come back up and retest that area. Where do we have that drawn right here? Okay, to come back up and retest this. So right now we have the 2 candle break. We actually got a strong break. Right now we're getting that potential retest. After that retest, we'd look for some bearish confirmation for the sell on gold. Okay, EU. EU, again right here. Oh, that's the 5 minute. EU looks like we're still waiting for it to properly break, if it is going to break. Again, if we start to get some major rejection off this level, this might actually be a sell. Okay, it might pull back again to test this level one more time. But overall, I would be looking for buys. GU is definitely looking like it's getting a little stuck at this level here. So it might still be stuck in the range. I'll wait for it to break either side of the range before I traded this. I don't like trading in ranges myself. And yeah, UCAD's still in free fall. New York for sure. Then my advice would be forget about Tokyo. The days that you can't trade New York and you'd want to trade the Tokyo session, maybe spend it back testing instead. And make sure you back test New York time. Stick to, especially in the beginning, stick to one session, right? Tokyo, London, or New York. Stick to one. Okay, each sessions have different personalities. Each pair, each currency pair has different personalities. We all have different personalities, right? You want to try to keep it as consistent as possible. It would be like going to the gym and doing, you know, a little bit of cardio today and then a little bit of heavy lifting the next day and then, you know, maybe some CrossFit the next day. I mean, overall, you're going to get a little bit stronger, but, I mean, you're not going to do nearly as well as if you just focused on cardio or you just focused on heavy lifting, right? You want to kind of specialize. I heard something, I'm trying to remember if it was today. They say that if you aim to be average in Forex, then in the long term, you're not going to make any money. You're going to lose money. You have to aim to be exceptional in Forex in order to make money. And in order to be exceptional, we need to have that laser focus, right? You need to master one thing. The Chinese have a proverb that says, I'm not afraid of the 10,000 kicks you know that you've practiced once, but I am deathly afraid of the one kick you know you've practiced 10,000 times. Okay, so let that sink in a little bit. I'm absolutely starving here, guys, so if you guys don't have any more questions, then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up a little bit early. I hope you guys still got a lot of value out of today's session. I appreciate all of you guys for hopping on. I will be back Thursday at the same time at 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys have any more questions or anything, you guys can reach me then. Let me just grab, there it is, Telegram link. You guys can join this. Feel free to use the chat. Ask me any questions you want on there as well. Okay, and have a